have you for the finals.
I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to watch some matches with you here this afternoon. So
we're certainly, it's lovely to have you on board, and do step out when you need to. We've got a Brazil versus Canada bout coming up here in the male minus 63 kilo category. Seddik Megraoui, of Canada, Lucas Fausto of Brazil, minus 63s. This is a competition that's got 67 competitors. We just went over to 64. It's match number 624, I believe, on here. They've been a bit naughty on the tournament desk. They're giving me a match that I haven't asked for, but don't worry. I'm sure we're gonna have a cracking game anyway.
Yeah, a lot of Canadian fighters here at the U.S. Open. They always are, and their program is really coming up as well. You know, you don't see one or two Canadians in every division now. You're seeing more, 4, 5, 6 even, and quality competitors as well. So, and this one again, he's pretty. You know, I'm not familiar with the gentleman here, but. He clearly knows the game and has great side-to-side movement, so I'm impressed with that so far. Well, he just got a full point deduction for that side-to-side movement, so he was moving a little too much, it looks like.
That is an interesting one, and that's one of the other areas we were talking about with Sherman yesterday. Sometimes you're going to gamble John against you, and all you've done is move to the side to change angle of attack. And you know, as a fighter, that's a very valid thing you have to do.
Absolutely.
You know, if you don't like the angle you've got, you need to change it. And
correct.
To be docked to point when all you're thinking about is moving an angle is, I think, you know, one of those areas where referees have to be educated and say, look, you have to allow for this, because you can't just be doing a straight line in on the attack. But these things sometimes take a little while to settle in, and I'm sure there's a process that you guys as coaches have to feed back to say, you know, this needs looking at. This is wrong.
Yeah, there's no question. As these guys are pausing for a sec here to fix that, there's no doubt. And we have to make sure that that we understand the rules and know that what they're expecting. But the side-to-side movement and the angles of movement is a reality. And, you know, these guys are trying to use those for sure.
Lucas Fausto beat the number 12 ranked athlete, Benjamin Snow, in the first round.
Yeah, Benjamin Snow, good player from the East Coast, and know him well. Great kid, great fighter. Really up-and-coming, one of our younger players that's really up-and-coming here in the U.S. And his father's his coach, and maybe one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Yeah. So good to know him for sure.
Time's running out here. These two have certainly put out a bit of energy in this first round. Oh, attempted head kick there. Megraoui claims it, but he doesn't get it. And with his electronic system, there's no blaming anybody anymore now.
That's
the electronic system has no favorites.
No, you're right. And yeah, the player looked like he might have got that axe kick on the face area, but the problem with that is there's no challenging that now. So if it doesn't score on the head protector, you know, we're just going to move on.
Are you allowed to challenge for the face kick these days? Is that one of the rules, or?
That's a new rule for us. It's a new rule for coaches. You cannot.
You can't.
So yeah, so we will not.
If a kick hits the face, it's no longer a challenge.
Yeah, the referees are going to have to deem it that the referee can ask for it and count you and ask for a video review themselves. But as a coach, we're not allowed to card that anymore. Or ask for a video review, and because of that, I tell you what, there was a lot of cards going up just to even for something close, and I think they thought there was maybe too many, but the other side of that too is that I've seen many a face kick here that just aren't getting scored, and you know, the headgear doesn't wrap the face, so it's not the technology.
No, you know, we've seen quite a few as well, and that's just, you know, we weren't exactly sure that ruling yesterday with Sherman, and you know, that does seem to be a bit of a crazy one, because you do see, you know, feet hitting face on the replay, and the fact that a coach can't actually claim it is...
No, we really can't. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I think these rules are going to probably be a little fluid here for a little while as they try to figure out what works and doesn't work. So maybe that's one. From a coaching standpoint, that's one. Hopefully they'll give us a little bit of help again with, and the challenge process.
Well, we do have a 4-year cycle. Obviously, the Olympics being the big elephant in the room that everybody focuses towards.
Yeah, it's a good match here going on. These guys are physical, and I like to see the physical inside roundhouse kicking, you know, because 3 months ago we wouldn't have seen it, you know, so
oh, no,
nice
and this is it, isn't it? This is what Taekwondo's about now, and we are seeing it. They're both getting stuck in. you know, it's a fine line. I think the referees have got a harder job as well because, you know, there is a lot more physicality there. And, of course, you don't want it to turn into a wrestling bout. You don't want people to be pushing each other. But there is going to be a little bit of argy-bargy in there. There's going to be some physical close stuff. So, you know, the referees have to be good. You know, you can't allow one person to dominate another just because of size.
Right.
And push him around the place. And but, you know, just seeing the way that the rules have affected things is exactly what needed to be done. And
I think they got what they were looking for, you know, and I think the referees have done an excellent job on the pushing aspect of it, not let someone just shove someone around and turn it into a wrestling match, like you said. I think that's a good analogy for sure. So they've got that, and these matches have been competitive, and we've seen turning kicks coming more and more, and because they feel like they have a good chance to score them. So
yeah.
Good match here for sure.
Do apologise if you are watching the action on 6 and 8. We don't have the ability to put a scoreboard on there. As I mentioned earlier, we do have sort of a full breakdown of the whole network system here. There's a lot of people running around scratching their heads since 9 o'clock this morning, and looks like well, the scoreboard. I'll keep you abreast of the score.
Well, we got it back.
To go.
Looks like we got it back here, and 10 seconds there in the third round. You know.
Yeah, less than 10 seconds. So it's nicely poised here. 3 points apiece. Fausto comes in with the big launch.
It's going to be interesting with the 3 points for the Canadian going in third round. He's got all of his points basically off the deduction, so I think he's going to have to score to win this game. You know, Fausto looks, like you said, knocking out the number 12 player here early on.
Yeah,
he's feeling confident right now, and he's the one who scored the points so far by scoring points, not just by deduction. So it'll be interesting to see this third round if the Canadian fighter can step up and get a few points on the Hogu or on the headgear.
We talked earlier about how GB managed to do it. I can be almost certain that there's people in the GB camp now who are looking at how you get points via Gam Johns, because Gam Johns are now a crucial part of the game. 10 Gam Johns to me is not enough, because people are getting disqualified quite easily.
Yeah, I've seen a couple for sure. Yeah, I've seen a couple.
We've seen athletes go very, very close, and there was one on here yesterday where he reached Gam John number 9 with like 1:40 to go in the third, and he then, you know, it basically restricted him from fighting. He couldn't really take a risk. He couldn't go for a headshot or anything, because if he was slightly off balance and got kicked, he'd go down, he'd lose the match. And, you know, I think there is a whole new angle now on analysing how you collect points on Gam Johns. And, you know, we've seen a lot of people with strong kicks that send their opponent to the floor. And, you know, it is going to change some of the way of collecting points.
Yeah, you're going to have to take, it's more of a risk for sure.
Yeah.
There's another deduction.
Another one, yeah. And we're going to see a card here, which is interesting. Now, Jason, you've obviously been a coach, so you know what is allowed. Like, give us a quick rundown. What is allowed on the cards these days? Like, he's just made the sign that he felt that the man in blue was defending, putting his leg up, so there was an infraction. Is that something? He's not put the card straight in his pocket, so I think the referee feels that is allowed. Is that something that you thought was allowed?
Yeah, if that's what he's asking for, there's no question that's you can request that an infraction given to your player was wrong.
Yeah.
You can't ask for an infraction against the other player unless they touched the ground as they fell down or they've gone out of the boundary line. So, right. But maybe they gave the infraction to the wrong player. There's some technical issues you can ask for video review from, but really there's a lot less that us as coaches can challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, even from Rio in the Olympic Games, when we knew what we could challenge and we had, you know, a certain amount of time to show that card and get that review there in Rio, that what I could challenge in Rio and what I can challenge today are completely different. And that's and again, coaches will make adjustments and continue to do this, but it's going to be interesting to see how coaches manipulate that card, because that card's important. And with one per game, I think coaches are a little more relaxed now on when they can use it, because we still have one card per game. And instead of 2 for the whole day, you know, when, like you said, in under 62 and some of these other divisions, they're giant.
Yeah.
You know, you could have 7 matches, and it's nice to have a card. Of course, as we talked about before, You have less to challenge now. You know,
Yeah.
you don't have as many things you could challenge.
So if you lose the card, you get the card at the start of the match. So
correct.
Yeah, so you get it each match. There's definitely, we're seeing some coaches are very, very good with their use of the cards occasionally, and we are seeing, we have a scoreboard on the screen. We have a graphic on the screen.
Oh, excellent.
So it's
so they're definitely accepting the challenge as far as looking at it, and let's see if the coach wins.
So that was a leg that was up. And he's going on the fact that you can't really just stick a leg out anymore as a defensive maneuver. You have to be attacking. Of course, you can have a clash. They're trying to determine is red trying to actually, when they lift the leg up, are they attacking or is that a hanging leg? We're going to find out in a second.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I'd sure like to know. I mean, I would really like to know as commentating here today, is like I'd like to know what the coaches are saying to the referees. Yeah. So is the challenge being accepted based on what they said, or is it challenge being accepted on actually what they're kind of telling them with their hands? You know, it's hard. Sometimes there's a little bit of translation issue, not much, but there's some. So sometimes they have to do it. Excellent.
That's a great challenge.
Yeah, fantastic challenge by the Brazilian coach.
Yep. Coach has done his job there because points are now going to be reallocated. Don't forget to switch back to the scoreboard. There you go. We are seeing a few coaches as well using that card just to give their athlete a rest at the end of towards the end of the third. And sometimes there's some very clever cards just thrown away, but you know, you can take your time explaining to the referee what you might explain the most stupid thing in the world, but as long as you take your time explaining it, the referee puts it in his pocket, but you've given your athlete a 30-second rest. And,
inside roundhouse kick. There's a great inside roundhouse kick by Fausto there of Brazil. I liked how he immediately scored and moved to the side there, so that there couldn't be a retaliation inside roundhouse kick by the Canadian.
Yeah. We don't have any details on Fausto. These two haven't really competed on the world scene at all. We have one record against Megraoui in the 2013 World Championships in Puebla, losing out after just 2 rounds in the round of 16. And Fausto, according to the international database, doesn't really exist yet, which means he hasn't competed. So,
yeah, typically he's young at that point, probably a young up-and-coming fighter.
Megraoui manages to get a head kick in and goes 6-5 ahead. What a time. Now it's starting to open up.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting. That was a great head kick. Kind of caught him, kind of being lazy, and brought that foot right over the top and then extended it.
Yeah. Well, opportunity to try and kick out of bounds, but Fausto is well aware of that. 30 seconds to go. Really entertaining match this has been. Oh, that one is just under the threshold. That's really bad luck there. The threshold being 23 points. There was a 21 and a 17 there for Fausto. There's another 20. He's getting close. He does score there. Oh, 2 scores.
He scored right there to get that roundhouse kick and take the lead.
Yeah.
We lost the scoreboard. We got it back for you with 10 seconds left. Got a little.
We're having issues with our scoreboard system here. Just plug it out.
Oh, and Fausto scores again when we blink and he gets another kick, and now looks like he's going to try to maneuver around a little bit.
Coach has got the red coach is looking to use a card as well. He wants more. I think we're going to have a card on both sides by the looks of it. This could take some time.
Yes, it could, and I think that the Brazilian coaches saw him touch his hand and he didn't get the gum jam for falling down, basically. And I think that's an important challenge too. Normally, I'd say don't waste the card, but you get one next game anyway. So if you feel like you can get that extra point, that's going to be safe, right? A little safer there.
Never really thought of this before. You get 2 cards. There's one card here claiming for a touch. Oh, you could get some hypotheticals here, couldn't you? Because you could sort of give the point for the touch on the ground, and then the blue card could come in to say, well, something else happened earlier that meant that touch wasn't valid because he'd been pushed or something. So even though they may accept this video review, the next video review could annul it, if you know what I mean. So yes. I'm confused. Do you get my feeling? I'm confusing myself a little bit. But you know, you could get the second challenge sort of annul what had happened in the first challenge. And I just wonder if they then go, Oh, hold on, he's right there as well. So that means we're going to go and get your card back that we've just given you. You know,
yeah, just obviously they're going to attend to each situation here, whichever card came up first, and then go from there. You know, so.
Thanks for bearing with me. I do love these little moral maze loops that you get involved with. So now we're looking at the red one first. Does he touch the ground? We're looking for blue touching the ground, I believe, which is not happening here. There's nothing. Well, there's nowhere near touching the ground. He's got to be talking. Well, yeah. We've got to. Yeah, we're getting the X from the desk. The coach is saying it's not that move; it's further on. Yeah, he's going backwards now. So
yeah, I think sometimes as coaches we have to kind of let them know where we're trying to go with this thing. That's not an easy system to rewind that and find that exact spot. So you're hoping they're going to look for the correct thing here to give these coaches a chance to challenge what they're looking for.
I think he's going the wrong way as well. I think the coach needs to actually walk over there. The coach is asking the referee, can I go over and explain?
Yeah, that's...
Have you done that before?
I've tried. It wasn't successful for sure.
It's the Gene Lopez maneuver. Yeah. I remember him at, where was it? In Astana. That Samson bout. Everything happened on that one. And, in the end, we had both coaches at the table. Well, no, he wasn't feisty, he wasn't argumentative, but it was, they were both trying to get their points across.
Right.
All hell broke out there. That was very un-taekwondo-like. That was almost like a sort of MMA bout.
Yeah, you're right. It was, and it definitely there was definitely tempers flaring for sure. It's a battle, it's a fight, so you're going to see some heated battles at times.
Right now, okay, so
2 seconds.
Yeah, well, we're not got a blue card after all. I think the coach and no touch there. Great bout, really great action. I think the blue coach wanted to get the card out to actually save some time. And so once he'd realised that his athlete had already had a rest, he said, oh, I don't need to now.
Fausto having himself a day today for sure. He really is. And so if we'll try to find out where he is in the bracket, or my friend, or the pool list.
Well, I think
as Rakesh would call it. So.
Well, I think he's progressed through from 5:23, so he's in here. So he's through to the quarterfinal now.
Yes, he is.
And he's according to seeds, he should be facing Luis